All right, let's dive right into this explainer. I want you to literally close your eyes for a second and just mentally transport yourself into a dark, insanely sophisticated industrial workshop. We're here to witness a truly unprecedented manufacturing transformation. We aren't just going to look at how something is made, we're going to explore the physical and acoustic journey of turning a raw, completely silent block of metal into an absolute marvel of automotive engineering. So get ready, because we are looking at the creation of a solid titanium Koenigsegg Jesko.
Now consider the sheer scale of the value right in front of us, $4 million. We're talking about Koenigsegg's $4 million sculpture, but it's not built the way you might assume. Like, this isn't about layering carbon fiber or your traditional assembly plant manufacturing. No, this hypercar is meticulously carved from a single, massive, continuous block of aerospace-grade titanium.
So the big question we're tackling today is this. How do you actually build a hypercar with absolutely no assembly line? Seriously, think about that for a second. There are no body panels getting bolted together here. There are no robotic arms welding a frame. We are talking about achieving an extraordinary, almost incomprehensible level of precision using just one solid piece of metal. Literally every curve, every air intake, every tiny detail has to be extracted from that singular mass.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's start with an extreme macro view of our raw material. Aerospace-grade titanium. It's an ultra-strong, incredibly lightweight metal that demands an immense amount of precision to shape. Imagine looking super closely at this gigantic rectangular block. You can see the microscopic scratches and the raw, natural texture of the metal. As it sits inside this precision machining center, there is almost complete silence. It's perfectly still, right up until a very faint, deep industrial hum begins to vibrate through the room.
And that brings us to CNC machining. It's basically a manufacturing process that uses computerized controls to drive diamond-tipped cutting tools with flawless robotic precision. As the spindle accelerates, that diamond-tipped tool slowly approaches the metallic surface. It pauses for just a fraction of a second, and then boom, it makes its first contact. It's totally mesmerizing. The machine begins peeling away perfectly controlled curls of titanium. Massive amounts of this ultra-strong material are just stripped away without a single error.
Now, what's super fascinating here is that this isn't just a visual process. It is an incredibly rich acoustic journey. If you listen closely to this environment, you hear all this highly detailed, tactile, industrial ASMR sensory data. You've got the sharp, high-frequency whine of the CNC spindle, the crisp, almost violent sound of the diamond cutter making contact, and the slow-motion impacts of metallic shavings striking the enclosure. You can practically feel the mechanical vibrations traveling through the metal, all while a cooling mist continuously sprays across the surface. It's basically a symphony of industrial machining.
We can see this transformation building progressively through four main steps. Step 1 is the raw titanium block. Moving to Step 2, the rough car form. Then Step 3 dials in the aerodynamic details. And Step 4 is the final polished Jesko. But the secret here is that the cutter isn't really building the car, right? It's revealing it. Millimeter by millimeter, pass by pass, the machine carves away everything that isn't the Jesko.
There's a great quote that sums this up. What looks like a featureless block is slowly becoming one of the most dramatic hypercar silhouettes ever imagined. And that's exactly what's happening. As we watch this time-lapse, those heavy cuts become much deeper and way more rhythmic. You get these wonderful tension-building silences between the major cuts, and then massive chunks of titanium just fall away. Suddenly you can see it, the long aerodynamic nose, the sculpted side surfaces, the aggressive front profile, and that massive rear section. The silhouette is finally breaking out of the mass.
All right, moving into our next section, microscopic precision, where we look at engineering the aerodynamics.
Let's look specifically at the nose. This is where brute force completely gives way to absolute finesse. Precision is literally everything right now as our view shifts to extreme macro cinematography. The incredibly fast machine from earlier slows way down. It starts removing almost microscopic amounts of material to carefully, meticulously sculpt the front splitter and the air intakes.
Then, moving up to the roof line, imagine tiny titanium particles just flying away in slow motion. The upper aerodynamic curves of the car are being shaped with such intense care. The machine is no longer using heavy force. It's using this delicate, highly controlled touch to perfectly map out the gentle slope of the roof.
And we definitely can't forget the wheel arches. This right here is controlled mechanical perfection. The machining center swaps out to these tiny, highly specialized tutters to carve out the aggressive side surfaces, making sure the air channels and rear diffuser are mathematically flawless.
So,
I really want you to notice the stark shift in our acoustic journey here. We're looking at aggressive cutting versus surface refinement. We're moving far away from that high-frequency whine, the flying metal chips, and heavy vibrations of major material removal. Instead, we transition into the highly satisfying sounds of surface refinement, the soft metal brushing, the fine grinding, and the gentle, rhythmic clicks of compressed air.
This softer acoustic profile goes hand in hand with specific precision refinement areas. We're talking about the headlight housings, the door openings, those carbon-style aerodynamic forms, the wheel hubs, brake components, and the exhaust area and air channels. These are the tiny surfaces and transitional edges most people never even notice. But here, they are refined and polished over and over until that raw, dull industrial metal starts catching the beautiful workshop light. It's finally starting to look like a finished, luxurious machine.
Which brings us to our final section, the final reveal, a hypercar forged in titanium.
As things wrap up, the intense machining noise we've been tracking gradually fades out. You're left with just this very low, quiet mechanical ambiance as the machine retracts its arms and the coolant stops. One block, one machine, one impossible-looking result. The ultimate expression of precision engineering. That quote hits the nail on the head. After countless kilograms of titanium were removed through thousands of precise cuts, the original block is entirely gone. What remains is an extraordinary machine born without shortcuts, from pure metal.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to really ponder. When a $4 million hypercar emerges entirely from a single block of titanium, what are the true limits of modern physical engineering? I mean, if we can achieve this level of flawless automotive perfection from a featureless block of metal, what else is possible? It is an absolute testament to human ingenuity and mechanical mastery. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the limits of what we can build.